WINS, WINS-FM in HD1 New York.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
More people get their news from 1010 Wins than from any other radio station in the nation. Martin Untroib is writing. Kyle McMorrow is at the editor's desk. I'm Lori Madden.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM. New York.
56 degrees now. Overcast skies at 5 o'clock. I'm Larry Mullins, and here's what's happening tonight. Yeah, we've been checking in with AccuWeather all day with the tornado watch over Jersey and strong winds and possible storms hanging over the city now. We'll get the latest from the Weather Center. 1010 Winds has also been following that situation in Queens where 4 people have died, 3 others in critical condition after flames spread through an apartment building. Also today, a move to reduce the speed limit near school zones in the city from 25 to 15 miles per hour. Mayor Mamdani says, well, we got to do something to protect these babies. The eastern half of the country getting swamped with canceled and delayed flights, bad weather to blame, but a partial government shutdown also aggravating things at the TSA checkpoints today as well. Not enough people. And is there a Taylor Swift-Bruno Mars rift? Social media suggests that there is, but Bruno says, please, I got nothing but love for Taylor Swift. Details coming up. AccuWeather says windy and turning colder tonight, dropping down to a low near 35. It's news time, 5:01. Let's get you where you need to go tonight, and here's Greg.
Well, here is what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. City-bound side of the George Washington Bridge, for now, we're in pretty good shape to the upper and lower. The west side highway right now, that's sluggish, but moving from the 90s on up. Better than where we were earlier, and right now among the best options you've got to the outbound George. Northbound west side highway, that's going to be best out of Manhattan. Northbound Deegan, best out of the Bronx. Lincoln Tunnel, 10 to 15 minutes in. The outbound Lincoln Tunnel, an extra 10 to 15 from 11th, better from 9th. Holland Tunnel, no more than about 20 minutes out. Inbound Skyway is a bit slow, so is the outbound covered roadway. Newark Bay, the better idea. Throgs Neck, Clearview combination, best of what you've got across the Upper East River. Westbound Staten Island Expressway, all loaded up from Fingerboard Road all the way and onto the southbound West Shore Expressway. Now, the BQE eastbound slows to the Brooklyn Bridge, again from the Williamsburg Bridge all the way on up towards Northern Boulevard. On Long Island, Southern State, plenty slow. Eastbound traffic to Baldwin Road, again from Newbridge Road all the way on out towards Route 109. Sunrise Highway the whole way home, it won't be worse. Long Island Expressway, eastbound traffic to Glen Cove Road, and again, getting out towards Bagatelle Road. Greg Rice, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
And we will have more on that heartbreaker out of Queens in a moment. A fatal fire which has killed 4 people. But first, we're still watching the skies for any trouble. Now, a tornado watch in effect until later tonight. AccuWeather keeping tabs for us, along with the potential for a shower going into the evening hours. Meteorologist John Feerick now with more. John.
Yeah, we've got some downpours moving in from the south and west. The main concern with the showers and storms that are going to be rolling through here is going to be street and highway flood issues, as well as some localized damaging wind gusts. Can't totally rule out an isolated tornado across portions of New Jersey, but again, the greater concern is the downpours and the wind, and we're going to have strong winds even outside of any thunderstorm. We're going to have gusts out there this evening into the first part of the overnight, up near 50 miles per hour, which could cause some localized damage and maybe a few power outages as well. And then we'll see the showers and storms pull away late tonight, and much chillier then as we head into tomorrow and Wednesday.
Thank you, John. And while you were at work, folks, we got that horrible news out of Queens regarding a 4-alarm blaze. Now they're saying a 4th person has died now from injuries at that fire, and one of the dead is a child. Newsman Mac Rosenberg at the scene reporting tonight from Flushing.
This is a difficult and tragic day.
The top floor of the building on College Point Boulevard is charred out, windows busted.
Very, very chaotic.
Vivian Marie smelled smoke for blocks and saw this through the smoke and fog.
One guy getting dragged out. I think he didn't have any oxygen. They were like maybe putting an oxygen mask on him.
The wind was howling at times. Chief of Operations Kevin Woods says it's what they train for.
The wind definitely impacts firefighter operations. The fire travels with the wind.
A staircase collapsed onto 2 firefighters. They were rescued by their fellow first responders. Mac Rosenberg, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Flushing.
Yeah, they said some people actually had to jump from the windows to survive. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. We'll continue following that, and we'll keep you posted. Hey, watch out for the kiddos, everybody. The city lowering the speed limit around school zones, invoking a law that has not been used much since it was passed.
Mayor Mamdani is slowing down traffic for child and school safety.
We are going to reduce the speed limit to 15 miles per hour outside all eligible 2,300 school zones.
A total of 1,300 zones will see the reduction by the end of the year. The others will be completed by 2029. Fabiola Mendieta Quapio has been advocating since she lost her 5-year-old son Brian to traffic violence.
This is not just about my child. This is not about our kids. This is also about your kids, your nephews, your grandkids.
Officials say this is not about generating fines, but moving drivers into compliance. Juliet Papa, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
In other news, we've been talking about the weather around here with that tornado watch that's in effect, and we're expecting storms here later on today. They're not the only ones experiencing bad weather, folks. This time, powerful storms sweeping across the eastern half of the country, resulting in thousands of flights canceled or delayed flights. At JFK now, we didn't have our share. 263 flights were canceled. LaGuardia had even more, 418. Newark with 145 cancellations. It's nothing like what they're going through, a little bit further east of us, or at least to the south of us, I should say. The combined delays between the big three airports nearing 1,000, though. To make matters worse, we have long security lines because of the partial government shutdown that's been going on for over a month now. Airport security screeners missed their first full paycheck over the weekend, and since they're not getting paid, many of those screeners are like, I'm not showing up here to work. Please, for free? The CEOs of the nation's top airlines have been pleading Congress to restore funding to Homeland Security and to figure out a bipartisan solution so aviation workers can keep getting paid during future shutdowns. A man who served 19 years in prison after being convicted of robbery about to be a free man again. Brooklyn DA Eric Gonzalez moving to vacate Kenneth Wendley's conviction after an investigation identified 2 other suspects who then confessed and testified that Wendley had nothing to do with the crime. Wendley became a suspect after using a money order that was stolen from an elderly victim, but he wasn't the one who stole it. This is how it went. He says he bought the money order from 2 men he knew, from the neighborhood. But that was the extent of his involvement. He always maintained he had nothing to do with robbing the guy. Prosecutors say a new investigation confirmed Wendley's claims 19 years later that he was not guilty. He had a 20-year sentence, folks. All of that. Spent all of that time except one. Wow. March Madness taking over the Big Apple, especially in Queens, where St. John's just captured the Big East title for a second straight year. Their crushing win over UConn has fans dreaming about the chances of this year's NCAA tournament.
Oh, amazing. My dad was telling me how it's just like the 80s again, we're right back at top.
There's a lot of energy and a lot of crowd noise and good vibes.
It's exciting. Right now, we all crazy about St. John's. Hope they go all the way. Yeah. I hope so.
The Red Storm. It's a 5 seed in the East region, and they take on Northern Iowa Friday night in San Diego. Those are bad. They better be ready for that. San Diego doesn't play. 2 other teams from our area also in the tourney. Hofstra, of course, which is making its first appearance since 2001, as well as LIU. Good luck, everybody. Sports betting has become a huge business, but some fans are taking it a little bit too far, harassing and even threatening folks, players and coaches, everybody. Now there's a push to put an end to that.
With March Madness underway, many people are placing big bets and doubling down. Assemblymember Charles Levine is introducing a bill that would ban anyone from placing a sports bet if they're caught harassing athletes, coaches, or even officials.
We have seen truly dramatic and troubling increase in the instances of people involved in athletics being threatened.
He says the crackdown is to protect athletes and anyone working in the sports industry.
A lot of my governmental colleagues sound more like so-called professional wrestlers than they sound like legislators, and that sets a tone.
Athletes across the country are speaking out, saying the bets are causing them to receive threats. Mary Lynn Buckley, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Hudson Square.
What's news time 5:11? Got a traffic rift going on, that's for sure. Tell us about it, Jake.
Yeah, your blood's going to boil over in Queens. Eastbound Grand Central, east of Kew Gardens. You got to break down to the right lane. That's why you're extra slow back through Kew Gardens and all the way back towards the Long Island Expressway. The trouble on the Long Island Expressway, well, that itself is westbound at Casino Boulevard. Somebody spun out in the middle lane, and you're crawling from the Clearview Expressway. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and the tunnels. Citybound, the George, pretty good ride to the upper and lower West Side Highway. For all of its faults, it's now the best of it out out of town. And the northbound Deegan, the best you got out of the Bronx. Lincoln, we're looking at about 15 minutes in. Outbound side of the Lincoln, no more than 10 Holland, 10 to 15 out. Skyway slows either way, so the Newark Bay extension, yeah, that's going to do it a whole lot easier for you. Clearview, Throgs Neck combination, best of it right now across the Upper East River. Nassau County on the eastbound Northern State Parkway, approaching South Oyster Bay Road. We are getting word of a crash. We are seeing some brake lights on the jam cam all the way back towards the Meadowbrook, but that's pretty normal as well. Eastbound Northern State's never easy in a rush hour. Southern State again slows east of Franklin Avenue to Baldwin Road, again from Newbridge Road all the way on out towards Route 110. Greg Rice, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
And now your AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Meteorologist John Feerick with this live report.
A wind advisory in effect runs until 4 a.m. tomorrow. We are going to see gusts out there through the night on the order of 50 miles per hour. That could cause some localized damage. A few power outages. Obviously, we had the showers and thunderstorms in the area as well. And we're going to have these downpours with us through the evening. Also producing a localized damaging wind gust. Can't totally rule out an isolated tornado across central and South Jersey where we have that watch that expires at 7 p.m. But again, the greatest concern, downpours, gusty winds through the night. Although it does look like later on tonight will dry out. Probably after 1 or 2 a.m. it's dry, windy and colder down to 35. And then blustering cold for tomorrow for St. Patrick's Day, the high 41. And still chilly on Wednesday, but less wind, the high 40. Mostly cloudy Thursday, the high up to 46. And then we're back into the 50s on Friday. Right now in Central Park, 54 with rain going down to 35 tonight in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather's John Feerick on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds at 92.3 FM.
And in the words of Arnold Drummond, Bruno Mars, what you talking about social media? He says he only has love for Taylor Swift. And why would she worry anyway? She's made billions traveling all over the world, selling out concert venues, 10 and 20 times over? Anyway, it's social media junk. He responded on X saying, Taylor has always been supportive and kind to me, adding, only love over here, along with a heart emoji. Mars gearing up to go on a world tour promoting his latest album, The Romantic. Lizzo just wrote her first children's book. She says before music came into her life, she always wanted to be a writer. On CBS Morning, she was talking with Gail, says the book tells the story of how she fell in love with the flute.
Everyone always asks me my origin story with the flute. They're like, why flute? How flute? This tells the real life story of how, I started playing flute.
Sasha be fluting. Lizzo says the book is about finding your voice and that the only way to do that is by being yourself and trusting yourself. The recently retired Metro card, now the centerpiece of a new exhibit at the New York Transit Museum. It opened today, features a creative work of artists who found beauty in that piece of plastic that we swiped for more than 30 years for a ride on the train or the bus. Museum curator Jody Shapiro runs down some of the exhibit's highlights.
What people can expect to see is MetroCards used as an artistic medium, MetroCards used as an artistic inspiration. There's garments made of MetroCards, there are collages made of MetroCards, there are paintings that incorporate MetroCards into the painting.
Garments made of MetroCards? Ooh, that probably hurt. I won't say where. The exhibit's on view at Grand Central Terminal through October. I'd like to see that. A popular Long Island diner that's been around since the 50s, finally reopening after nearly 2 years after a fire destroyed the kitchen.
Customers say they kept checking social media. Some even drove by, waiting for the Peter Pan Diner here in Bayshore to reopen. And now, after 20 months of rebuilding from a fire, there's a sign on the door that reads, yes, we're open.
I love the Peter Pan panini and the lemon chicken orzo soup.
And her 2-year-old daughter was ready for her meal. You want egg?
Yeah.
You like cookies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like cookies too.
I want a cake.
Oh, you want to interview me? You're so cute. Owner Peter Lanzares says it's an amazing feeling that all of his kitchen staff came back to work. Sophia Hall, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM on Long Island.
On the health front, researchers say they've come up with something that'll translate brain activity, enabling folks who are paralyzed to communicate. Check this out.
Academics have been developing special computer systems for people with no use of their hands.
They have small sensors placed over the part of the brain, the motor cortex, that controls the intention to move. Those sensors sensors record the electrical signals that are generated by the brain cells as they think about moving their hand.
Neurologist Daniel Rubin at Massachusetts General Hospital says they were able to translate those signals in real time.
These individuals who have paralysis and are not able to move their hands think about typing on a keyboard the way somebody without paralysis would, and the letters and words that they're typing appear on the screen as fast as they can think to type them.
That's Cammie McCormick reporting. You can read all about it in today's Nature Neuroscience. We got your headlines coming up next. From the cobblestones of Dumbo to the tight-knit community feel of Dyker Heights, we are New York's all-news station, 1010 Wins.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
We'll give you overcast, rain in some pockets, fog in others. Take your pick. 56 degrees. I'm Larry Mullins, and here's what's happening. Yeah, the weather tops our news going into this Monday night. High winds, which fan the flames of a fire in Queens. Oh, it's terrible. And a tornado watch that's sitting over New Jersey at this hour. We'll have more from the weather center in a moment. Regarding that fire, now 4 people dead, they're saying. 3 others fighting for their lives after a wind-whipped fire races through an apartment building in Flushing. 1010 Wind still out there at the scene. On Long Island, an effort to find a permanent home for a little dog that's been up for adoption. Ready for this? A record 500 days. Come on now, everybody. Police looking for the person who stabbed a lady standing at a bus stop in Queens this morning. The 30-year-old says a guy all dressed in black shows up and slashes her in the hand and in the back. And Harry Styles is newest in Nude with American Girls has debuted at #1 on the Billboard Global Chart. We'll have more coming up in 1010 Winds Entertainment. AccuWeather says tonight, we'll get wind. It'll turn colder too, dropping down to a low of 35 degrees tonight. Wins News Time, 5:21, as you head for the house from your Mercedes-Benz of Edison.com traffic center to get you there. It's Mr. Greg Rice.
So here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. You know the West Side Highway is going to be slow. It's rush hour. It is sluggish from the 70s on up, but everything else is worse, so you deal with the West Side Highway. If you're on the West Side and you don't want to get on the highway, Riverside Drive and Broadway, the longer you can stick with them getting uptown, the better off you will be. Deegan, best of what you've got out of the Bronx. I didn't say it was good. I said it's the best you've got. City-bound to George, that's in pretty good shape, weather aside, to the upper and lower. 10 to 15 at the inbound Lincoln, 15 out from 11th. You want 9, 15 to 20 home at the Holland. And on the Jersey side, the Newark Bay, a whole lot better. Brooklyn-bound Brooklyn Bridge jammed out of town. Queensboro Bridge, lower level Queensbound. Even with the construction gone, the brake light's still a factor. RFK Queensbound, a very slow ride across the span. The Clearview Frogs Neck, either way, is the best of what you've got across the upper East River. Through New Jersey, Garden State Parkway starting to slow, and Fitson starts out of Clark all the way up through Bloomfield. Southbound messy coming back through Cranford. The southbound New Jersey Turnpike looks like the southbound car lane's a bit sluggish south of the Newark Bay Extension, all the way on down towards Carteret. Greg Rice, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
And we could be in for a very active night out of the skies with a tornado watch, plenty of winds, and the potential for a thunderstorm through here. AccuWeather meteorologist John Ferrig in the Weather Center to get us ready for it all. John?
Yeah, we're going to have some showers and thunderstorms out there through the evening. Certainly the greatest concern from these is going to be downpours, some localized street and highway flood issues, as well as some localized damaging wind gusts. Not out of the question there's a tornado across 1 or 2 spots in New Jersey, but it seems like certainly the greater threat is going to be from the strong winds. And we're also going to have winds outside of any thunderstorm, too, to be concerned about tonight. So gusts up near 50 miles per hour could cause some localized damage, maybe a few power outages. But we'll see this storm pull away later on tonight and then just dry and chilly for tomorrow. Larry.
Thank you, John. A nightmare in Queens today, everybody, after 4 people are killed, 3 others critically injured after a fire which broke out at an apartment building. Fire officials say some of the people survived only by jumping out the windows. Newsman Mac Rosenberg at the scene for us tonight.
Some people had to jump from the building. Others didn't make it out.
We saw a flame while we were coming from there.
You saw the flames?
Yes.
We saw it when we were walking here.
Yeah.
Man, it's very sad. There was even like a lady that came out screaming, crying.
We had heavy fire on all 3 floors of this building.
Chief of Operations Kevin Woods says the wind impacted response.
We trained for this. We know when it's a heavy wind condition, our dispatchers will actually give that over the air.
2 firefighters were rescued when a staircase collapsed on them. Mac Rosenberg, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Flushing.
Also tonight, a woman arrested and charged with allegedly driving drunk and crashing into several cars on the southern state. Police say the 36-year-old sideswiped a BMW, crossed the center median, and continued traveling westbound in the eastbound lane. She then hit several more vehicles, they say, before hitting a Toyota Highlander head-on, killing 2 people. The victims, Donald and Lysette Maxwell, both in their 80s. Several others hurt, including one person who suffered critical injuries. A dog at a shelter on Long Island has been waiting patiently for someone to take him home. But the wait has been long, more than 500 days.
Teasley listens as a Town of Hempstead animal shelter volunteer tells him to stop and sit. Then the mixed breed dog looks up with his brown eyes.
Look at that face.
Those at the shelter say Teasley has been here since September 24th, 2024. That's 538 days without being adopted. They're hoping a social media push will get the attention of someone with a loving home.
Hi, you want to be adopted, right?
He would be best in a house by himself and without children in the home. Sophia Hall, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM on Long Island.
And now Bloomberg Money Watch.
It may sound counterintuitive at first. Dollar Tree attracts more customers by selling items at higher prices. The chain's strategy of selling products such as toys and party supplies in a range of $3 to $5 each is helping it increase sales, thanks in large part to an influx of shoppers with 6-figure incomes, even as some core customers with less money pull back amid rising gasoline prices. Wall Street rose today as traders celebrated passage of a few ships through the Strait of Hormuz and hope there will be plenty more. Dow up 388, NASDAQ up 269, S&P up 67. I'm Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
1010 Wins. I listen every morning on my way to work.
Always clear and accurate.
I love that I get so much news in such a short period of time.
1010 Wins.
At 92.3 FM.
1010 Winds AccuWeather, very windy and warm this evening with showers and even a couple of heavier thunderstorms in the evening. We'll get down to a low of 35. Winds News Time, 5:30.
Good afternoon, I'm Lori Madden. There was celebration at a Newark high school today where kids and faculty were cheering Michael B. Jordan's Oscar win. He is a 2005 graduate of the school.
So Arts High School in Newark on cloud 9 this morning. Their girls basketball team secured that state championship W, and of course, Michael B. Jordan.
This makes us an EGOT school.
That's their principal, Regina Sharp. She says they were gearing up for ecstatic students all night.
We're so proud. You know, the kids are walking with a little extra bounce in their step this morning.
Best part, she's met Michael B. Jordan a few times.
Always a gentleman, always so nice to everyone.
Now, his movie Sinners took the box office by storm, but not without the principal's support, of course.
And yes, I did see Sinners.
In the theater. Just checking. Amanda Alexander, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM at Arts High School.
Wins News Time, 5:31. The rain's really coming down now. Let's get you where you need to go on these soggy roads. Here's Greg Rice.
Yeah, the rain didn't help this. Looks like a car spun out on the westbound Long Island Expressway near Casino Boulevard. And right now, they've got the westbound LI shut down at Casino Boulevard to get this car spun around, except that hasn't happened yet. So the westbound LI is just getting worse past the Clearview, the westbound Grand Central. A bit better for you in Queens. On the eastbound Belt, you're bumper to bumper from the Van Wyck over to Francis Lewis Boulevard. Now, here's what you need to know about the bridges and the tunnels. Citybound George is fine. The West Side Highway, warts and all from the 70s on up. It is still the smoothest ride out of town. Northbound side of the Deegan, best of what you'll find out of the Bronx. The outbound Lincoln, 10 to 15 from 11th, better from 9th. About 10 minutes in. The outbound side of the Holland Tunnel, that's an extra 20. The Skyway, the worst of it. Queensbound RFK, crash blocks a lane. The Whitestone slows either way. The Throgs Neck Clearview combination, that continues to be the best of it across the Upper East River. In the Bronx, southbound Bronx River Parkway just after the Cross Bronx. Somebody broke down in the left lane. Hutch either way between Pelham Parkway and the Brooklyn Interchange. Going to be a much better ride than dealing with the Bronx River Parkway. And if you're in a jam, call the Barnes Firm traffic tip line at 844-JAM-1010. That's 844-JAM-1010. Greg Rice, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
Let's get a check now of your AccuWeather forecast. Here's meteorologist John Fearock.
We're going to have showers and a few thunderstorms out there as we head through the evening. Greatest concern with these storms is going to be flooding downpours, localized, damaging wind gusts, and Not out of the question there's a tornado somewhere in New Jersey, Central or South Jersey, the next couple of hours here, but seems pretty unlikely.
Looking to adopt a dog? A Long Island shelter has a pooch that needs a home and has needed a home for a while now.
Beasley listens as a Town of Hempstead animal shelter volunteer tells him to stop and sit. Then the mixed breed dog looks up with his brown eyes.
Look at that face.
Those at the shelter say Teasley has been here since September 24th, 2024. That's 538 days without being adopted. They're hoping a social media push will get the attention of someone with a loving home.
Hi. You want to be adopted, right?
He would be best in a house by himself and without children in the home. Sophia Hall, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM on Long Island.
You might soon find a Peloton at your gym. That story's coming up next. But first, traffic may be giving you a workout today. Wins News Time 4:51. Let's get you where you need to go. Here's Greg Rice.
Well, from some of these options, swimming across the Hudson might be a better bet. There's your daily exercise. The outbound George Washington Bridge, getting there is the issue. West Side Highway still with plenty of faults, but overall it's the best way out right now. East